So I'm thinking about it, Gary, and I really can't find anything I disagreed with in your video and how you phrased everything um, this time. Um, I think we need to work a little bit more on defining this word objective because at times you were saying it in a way that I was comfortable with. At other times you were maybe drifting a little bit in a direction that I am uneasy about. Um, because if objectivity is just getting a bigger picture, getting a wider perspective, trying to detach ourselves from our own subjective experience to the best of our abilities, um, if in other words objectivity is a method, something that we pursue, something that we see as the proper goal of our activity as a community of beings sharing a planet, then that seems perfectly good to me. I mean, that's a great idea, and of course, we should be pursuing objectivity. The reason, I've been, and I think Nick as well, have been critical of certain ways of characterizing objectivity is when we don't see it as a method and we see it as some kind of a finished product, a moral system with certain set of finite rules that everybody has to follow and that must be obeyed. Nick was questioning that when he was talking about equal rights or the idea that all human beings are equal. If we say that that is a universal moral principle, then we can't, declare the Hitlers of the world somehow unequal because it's inconsistent. So if instead, though, of making objectivity this finished product, we just see it as a method, then I think Nick would probably agree with the idea, and I certainly agree with the idea. Um, we do have an obligation to observe humanity, to see that sentience matters, to see that consciousnesses are equal as when they were born. Genetic factors aside, for the most part, we're all born into this world innocent, and as we grow, so long as our community provides us with the proper kind of education or fosters the growth of our intelligence and our creativity, um, we will be responsible and we should be held responsible for our behaviors. Um, and so after we're born, we become not so equal anymore. We're allowed to look at someone and say, you failed, or you just aren't good enough to play with the rest of the kids in the sandbox because you're too violent, or you steal too much, or whatever. Um, that's only reasonable that we have to have some kind of a moral system like that. Um, the thing is, though, whenever we do pass judgment on other people, judgment is a um, subjective process. It's not something that you can do objectively. If you remain objective as a sort of as a rule, as a finished product, that you have the objective truth, you're going to be so detached from your actual experience in the messy world of reality that you live in, that you're not going to be able to act. You're going to be doubting um, that there is a correct way to respond to other people. Other people will come at you and put you in a situation such that the only way you can respond is by breaking one of your objective moral principles. So you're just going to freeze up. Um, so we can't look at objectivity as something eternally fixed, like the Ten Commandments or something. We need to be more practical about it, and so long as we are, so long as we merely strive for objectivity without actually ever expecting that we have found it, then I see no problem. In fact, I applaud that, and I think that is a pretty good way to go about things, to go about understanding morality. So yeah, I guess maybe I've made some concessions. Maybe you'll disagree with how I've characterized objectivity, but uh, based on what you said in your video, I think there's more agreement at this point. So it's good. So thanks for listening.